Hey cutie, what's up? My name is Jeanette, also known as Ms.FitVegan. And today we're going to be going live with a fruity cutie. Her name is Mary, and she has healed from diabetes, sleep apnea, high blood pressure, and so much more. And I'm really excited. She's been raw for I think 5 or 6 years. So I'm going to bring her in, and while we wait for her to join, hi boo! Hi, Fruity Cutie. If you have any questions about our raw food lifestyle, let me know below. Here we go. Mary's here, and I'm going to bring her in right now. And before she joins us, I want to remind you two things. One is that I have a free training tomorrow, Saturday, May 3rd at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hi, Anna. What's up, boo? And anybody can join. It's going to be private on Zoom. So if you're interested, send me a DM with the words free training and I'll send you that link. And then the other thing I want to remind you of is that I have a course starting on Sunday. So if you're interested in going raw with me for 6 weeks, I will teach you everything you need to know, and let's go. So let me bring Mary in. Send me a DM if you're interested in joining my course or finding out more. Let's see how this is going to look. The screen always changes, so I don't know. Hi, Anna. I miss you. Oh my God. Hi.
Hi.
Oh my God. Mary is such an angel because we kept
Aw,
canceling the time and everything. I'm sorry, Mary. I'm so sorry.
no, it all worked out well.
Okay, let me try to take this filter off because it's zooming into my face. I thought it
Oh,
would be cute. It's not cute. Let me take this off. There we go. Okay. Regular. Now we're regular. All right. So, Mary, what's up? Thank you so much for joining. All right. So, tell everyone, please, just a little bit about you and how you came to this lifestyle. Why did you go raw?
um, gosh, it really happened quite younger by accident. I was in my early 20s and I was just so fed up with health issues and weight issues. And I was bored with food. Food had no flavor. And I just got to a point where, like, I'm just going to eat raw fruits and vegetables as much as I wanted. Now, back when I was in my 20s, I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't have access to internet. I was just making this up as I went.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, let's try this. So I did that for a while, but then life got in the way, college, and I fell off the wagon big time. And just everything, went downhill from there health wise. And finally, after college and getting out on my own, um, I really started to think about, like, when was I actually happy with food? And that's when the pandemic hit, and I was like, okay, it's time to get healthier because I'm not getting sick. So, um, just thinking about, like, oh yeah, I remember I used to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. So I started researching. I'm like, is this a thing? Am I starting something new? I'd never heard of this before. So I just started researching and I found, what it's called, raw vegan, fruitarian. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This is a thing. So I started doing more research and I started just, a smoothie a day and slowly, gradually going from there, and the weight started coming off and I started going off more and more meds and getting rid of all that stuff and no longer needing a CPAP machine to sleep. So I went from being watched for cancer and diabetes and having a heart specialist to I don't need any of that stuff anymore.
Wow. Oh my God. Okay, wait. So, if anybody has any questions, leave them down below. I have a lot of questions. First of all, how did you stay? Okay, so you said that you didn't have like a taste for unhealthy food anymore. How did that come about? Like, did you have any cravings?
Yeah, I absolutely went
Okay.
through cravings pretty hard. Like it was intense. And I realized TV did not help with their commercials.
Mm, mm.
So, you just got to fight the cravings and find ways to cope and ways to work through the emotions of it. So I'm very big about journaling. I journal and I started just recording, like, anytime I craved junk food and processed food and meat, I would write about what I was feeling. Like, okay, what pissed me off today? what am I sad about, like that I'm craving this one thing? So then I started to understand that relationship with food, and then you're able to actually deal with the emotions and heal those emotions and work
Wow.
through all that. And then you start to see like, oh, okay, now I get how all that stuff affected me. And it was just so, automatic before, of just grabbing that junk food. And then you start to become aware, and the more you're aware, you're like, no, I don't want to feel that way anymore. And the more that I got away from it, the less I felt that way.
Wow. And then that's amazing. And it's so rare. So few people on this earth will ever experience that, like awareness of what's going on with them. So I just want to say I'm so proud of you and congratulations. And can you tell everyone how much weight did you lose? What was your
So,
highest weight?
okay, gosh, I was like, okay, first of all, gotta understand my height. I'm only 3 feet tall.
Oh,
Yes,
oh.
I'm
Sorry, I
I'm
don't know how I did that, by the way. That was wild. I hope I don't pay for that. Okay. So 3 feet tall.
yeah.
Oh, I have to meet you. Okay. So, and then yeah. So, and then what was your,
I
well,
was, I mean, I was well over 120, 130 pounds. Um, and about 2 years ago, I had lost about 70 pounds.
wow.
Yes. So
Wow.
I was working out pretty intensely, but I enjoyed it very much. I did go on a juice cleanse. I went on a juice cleanse for 90 days, and I absolutely loved it. It was the first time I really felt like, oh, this is what my stomach is supposed to feel like. This is what my
Mhm.
body's supposed to feel like. It felt so good. I didn't feel bloated anymore. It was just amazing. So,
And then how
uh,
did you stay off? So then you went to raw foods after the juice
yes,
cleanse.
after the
And
juice.
what are some of your biggest tips? There's a lot of people watching that they want to stay raw, but it's really hard. What are some of your biggest tips to staying raw?
My biggest tip for staying raw, and I do get this a lot from people, is you have to connect those emotions with your cravings.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to work through the emotions. That is the biggest thing. Keep a food journal. Start logging everything of your emotions and what went on throughout the day that led you to this point to crave that food. Yeah, you're going to go through withdrawal like any other drug. It's natural. It's part of the process. But the more you connect that relationship for yourself, the more you can understand, and the more you could be awakened by what's really going on. That is my biggest tip, is to really sit with your emotions.
Oh, so wise. Yeah. That's good. That's hard, but necessary to break this cycle of
Yeah.
addiction. And tell us now, what do you eat in a day? What's a typical day look like for you as a raw vegan for like 5 or 6 years now?
Yeah. So I start my morning with a 32-ounce smoothie. I use Sun Warrior protein powder. I probably use about 4 bananas in my smoothie, and then I'll mix some berries or things like that. My quickest go-to is just throw some bananas and some protein powder and be done with it if I'm really in a hurry. That tends to fill me up for most of the day, and then I make a large salad for dinner. Sometimes it'll be a soup, or I'll do like a cauliflower rice bowl. I love making those.
Oh, fancy.
Yes.
Fancy. I've never made that because it seems like too much work. Is it a lot of work?
I don't think so, but maybe I'm just used to it.
Maybe.
So, um, yeah, I mean, just rice some cauliflower, throw in whatever you want, veggies and that. The simplest way, just use some namashoyu if you wanted,
Mm,
or
mm.
if you're not going that route, yeah, just, oh my gosh, there's so many different ways. Um,
Yeah, I have found that, yeah, the nama shoyu, which is like the more natural soy sauce, if I'm craving sushi, I just put some of that in
yeah,
my in my
yep,
salad. And I'm just like, okay, that's my craving. That's
Yeah.
what I wanted. You know, I wanted that fishy, like salty flavor. I didn't really want the salt, the fish. You know, I didn't want the sushi.
Right.
But yeah, okay. You know what? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna make a cauliflower bowl
Um,
very soon.
hop on my channel, Raw Vegan Magic
Ooh.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
I have
Oh,
some
okay.
rice stuff on there. I even figured out how to make raw vegan rice-a-roni.
Okay, that's it. So what is your YouTube? Raw Vegan Magic?
Yes,
Okay. We're going to put this on YouTube. I'm going to leave it down below. Everybody
absolutely.
go subscribe. Everybody
Yeah.
go follow Mary because I canceled this interview like maybe 10 times. I owe her. So everyone, we need at least 100 people to go
Please,
subscribe.
that would be awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited. Okay, so wow, what's in that? What's in your recipe for that?
So I made a homemade like a what do you call it, like sassoon mix with dried
Huh?
spices. There's two different ones. I forgot the other one, but I use sassoon or the other one that I can't remember at the moment. And that's also on my YouTube channel on how to make that. And then you
Wow.
rice your cauliflower. You sprinkle in some nutritional yeast. Then you take your kelp noodles. You make your kelp noodles and you just slice it up very small, the way rice-a-roni looks, and you mix the two together.
Oh, genius. Oh, that's genius. Who is Sherry? Hi. Sherry just joined. She cut up the kelp noodles to make like
Yes,
rice-a-roni. That's genius.
yes,
Okay, everyone go follow. Everyone. And if just go follow her on Instagram and then I'm sure your link is in your bio, right? There's a
yes.
link. Okay, perfect. Wow, so you're a chef. Okay, you're
I
oh,
love creating. I love being in the kitchen. I love like
yeah.
every day. I'm always on the phone with friends and whatnot, and I'm making my food, and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm making, but I'm making it. I don't know what I'm
Okay.
doing until I'm
This
doing
is
it, you know?
this is such a skill. This is such a blessing to have that talent in the kitchen. So now, question: how do you do this raw thing socially? So for people that just joined, Mary has been raw for about
Yeah.
5 years, and she does this in the real world. So tell us, how do you eat raw socially?
So socially, I just let friends and family know, like this is what I'm doing, and no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to eat your food. I'm going to bring my own food. I bring it everywhere I go, whether I'm going to a party at family's house or even at restaurants. I'll either call the restaurant ahead of time and say, hey, I have some requirements. This is my strict diet, whatever, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. Can you just make me a plain large salad? And then I bring my own dressing. Today I was out and about so much. I just brought a package of strawberries with me and ate that as I was on the go. So yeah, wherever I go, I bring my own food. I call restaurants ahead of time. I'll bring a salad dressing, or I'll eat something beforehand and bring a little something with me. You just kind of you make it up as you go. When you're starting out, bring more than you need.
Mm.
Ask your family and friends what they're having, because it might sound so good to you and then you're sitting there like, oh, I just got this salad. So find out what they're having, then
Mm.
go and look at some raw vegan recipes, some desserts, a dinner, whatever, and make those things and bring it. And it's up to you whether you want to share it or not. Some family and friends are going to be open to it. Some are just going to humor you, and others are going to be like, nope, that's weird, and that's okay. I've
Yeah.
learned, as much as I love sharing, I don't share anymore because I realize they're just humoring me. And it's like, well, why am I offering you my food when you really don't care? You're not going
Yeah.
to make the changes. If you want to try it, great, but I'm not offering it anymore.
Yeah, that's a great point. I used to do the same. I used to make these big.
Yeah,
So when I first went raw, I didn't have like a big social life or a big family, but I had a lot of employees. So I used to make pumpkin pie and apple pie, and I would
yeah,
bring it to work like every Friday. And then I would give a slice to everybody, and then I would have nothing
right.
because I had all these employees. And like would always be like, wow, this would be so good if it was warm. Or they
Right.
would make little comments like that. Or if this wasn't vegan, it would be even better. Like, this is
Right.
good, but it would be even better.
Right.
And then I just started realizing, like, this is a waste of my time and my effort. And I started just bringing fruit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I would buy like a watermelon, cut it, and then give everybody slices. And it's like God already cooked it for us. So
Right.
I'm not going to waste my time. But yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
When you're going to events and when you're going to Christmas dinner or like whatever, you definitely want to bring something to share, but not your portion. Like, have a lot for you and then a little bit to share, and have that, because
Exactly.
if you're sharing with everyone, because they always want to try things, and then usually either they're humoring you or like they don't, that's not their food. They have other food, and then you're left with nothing. So I learned that the
Exactly.
hard way. You got to always take care of yourself and put your oxygen mask on first. And
Absolutely.
yeah, okay. So now, speaking of that, you had sleep apnea. So did you used to wear a mask
I,
to sleep?
I did. I did. Yes. I used to wear the mask to sleep. I was on some other medications, and then um, after some time, I had called the company and said, I don't need this sleep machine anymore. Can you guys come pick it up? And they're like, oh, actually, there was a recall on that. It was causing cancer.
What?
Yes.
What? How?
And then I'm
Well, how could
thinking,
that?
I'm like, this is part of why I was being watched for cancer and going in for blood tests every month where they were taking like 12 vials of blood a month. And the doctor literally told me at that point um, to contact her when I had symptoms of cancer. Not if, but when.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How can that cause cancer? Do you know?
I don't
That
even know, but
doesn't, I don't even understand, but
whatever the
wow.
materials are made of, the tubes, who knows? Who knows?
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a wake up call for somebody. Somebody is watching
Right.
this and they need a wake up call.
Right.
Maybe they're using that machine or
You
they're
know
taking
what?
prescription drugs.
Just always call your doctors, call these companies and ask, hey, is there a recall?
You know what,
I've been
Mary?
on medication
Uh-huh.
where where I wasn't told that there was a recall on the medication for cancer. And I found out the hard way.
You know what, Mary? I just had a thought. Okay, yeah, definitely call because there could be a recall, but also take this as your wake up call that you need to get off this shit. You need to get off this medication. You need to get off all of the things that are just barely keeping us alive, alive enough to, go get the medication
Yeah.
or use the product, but like that's not a
No,
life. That's not a life. And talk to people about the sacrifice, because tell us about a few sacrifices over the years of eating raw and what, some hard times that were really, really hard, and were they worth it? Because I'm sure you've had some times where it was really hard to stay healthy.
um, you know, a lot of it was dealing with the emotions. It is hard to sit with yourself sometimes. It is hard to look at the reality of emotions and what maybe you created in your life, the chaos, the things like that. Um, it's just being able to sit with yourself. The other hand of it is when you're first starting out raw, you you you're just learning and you're relearning, and you got to tear down a lot of walls for yourself and rebuild. And that is a hard part, is rebuilding sometimes, where now you got to learn a whole new way to make food and combination of food. How do I take all these raw things and combine them for them to taste good? But once you start learning that, oh, you can mix peaches with tomatoes and make an awesome dressing, like you would never think to do
I
that.
don't even know anything
And
about that. Okay, I have to, everyone go follow Mary. I don't even know anything about peaches and tomatoes. That sounds
I haven't
delicious.
made it in a very long time. I'll make a video on that. But yes, take some peaches and take some tomatoes, throw it in a blender, and you got a dressing.
Wow. Wow. Because, a
Yep.
lot of people, they want to be fat free. I understand why some people are more sensitive to nuts and seeds than other people,
Yes.
or some people are struggling with blood sugar issues. So like that's a genius recipe. And send me your YouTube channel because
Yes.
I'm going to subscribe. And I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel. So I'm so happy right now. So yeah, is there any time that you could think of that was really difficult to stay raw, but you did it? Was there any specific time or
Um, I, geez, really, the cravings, the
okay.
emotions,
Yes, yes, yes.
and also feeling mm, alone from other people that don't want to join in your joy with food.
Hmm. Yeah. And what motivates you to stay raw? Are you doing it just for yourself? Are you doing it for friends and family? Like, what motivates you on a daily basis?
So in the beginning, it was my health. Absolutely 100% it was my health. And the more I kept doing it, I realized it's bigger than just my health. It's the environment, it's the animals, it's about the energy that you're putting in your body. And
Yes.
that's what it is. I mean, at this point, it's not even a thought. It's not even like, okay, how am I going to stay raw today? Like that's not even a worry for me. It's kind of like, I see cooked food. I go to grocery stores. I go to friends, or I go to family and events and things like that. And it's like, I don't want it. Or I look at it and say, oh, I can make that so much better raw. It'd be so much better that way. Lasagna. There's foods now that don't smell good. There's senses that don't smell good
Mm.
anymore because it's like, no, that's chemicals. That's
Yes.
junk. And then I look at
Yes.
my raw food that's so full of life and color and flavor that you can never get from cooked food.
Yes. So true. And doesn't it taste better? It's hard because most people can't understand this, but food that is healthy that also tastes good tastes better than food that is unhealthy that tastes good, right? Because
Absolutely.
there's a feeling whenever I used to eat unhealthy food, I knew it was hurting me. And that
Yep.
feeling ruined my experience. Even though it
Yep.
tasted so good, I knew while I was eating it, I shouldn't be eating this.
Correct.
And there's a way to live where it tastes good and it feels good and it
And
makes
that,
you healthy
yes,
at the same time.
that was the thing
And
about junk food and cooked food is I would constantly punish myself. Like I would crave it, so I'd eat it, and then I would be mad at myself for eating it. Now I don't have that. I,
And
I
did you take a course or did you read a book or something? How did you go raw? Who taught you how to be raw?
so the first person that taught me was Fully Raw Christina. I got in on her group and it was awesome. I learned so much from her and the group, and I've made some friendships with people from the group, and just bouncing ideas off with each other and staying in contact through social media. It's been really great. And then, I just venture out and find other influencers and what they're doing and how they're doing it and why they're using this over that and what products and why this product and not that product. So it is constant learning, and that's awesome.
I'm so sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, my best friend called me 5 times in a row. So she better be dying. She better be dying of a protein deficiency because I'm going to kill her if she's not dying. So anyway, yeah, she is texting me and calling me nonstop, but I'm live with Mary, so I cannot do anything about that, Awa. So anyway, okay,
Hi,
so
Ella.
hi, Awa, yeah. So we'll send this to her. But basically, I asked because, yeah, I found that everybody that is successful on this lifestyle, they always have a coach and they always have help. They have a community, and
Yeah.
that is so important. So,
Yes.
is there any other message that you'd like to share or any advice that you'd like to share before we wrap up our interview? Awa says, call me, call me, call me. Apparently, it's emergency. This
Oh
better be
boy.
good.
Oh
But
boy.
anything you'd like to share or any words of encouragement?
You know, just start somewhere. Just start. You don't have to know where it's going to lead to, but just start and start researching. Start start with us, start with someone and contact us and say, hey, I saw your live, like help me out. Where do I start? Where do I begin? Start with one smoothie a day. Start somewhere. Start with just eating raw fruits and vegetables,
Mm.
even if it's high raw, or just start with one raw meal a day or one something, and slowly build on that.
Yes, yes. I love it. Start where you are and start small. And last question, really quick. How much do you spend on average on food every week?
That is a good question. I really probably, I would say on a weekly basis, maybe 100 or under $100.
Under $100.
I mean, yeah, of course I get, monthly 5 pound thing of cashews and, the protein powder and things like that that are more expensive, but I'm also not buying eggs and meat and milk and things like that. But on a weekly basis, I'm not really spending a whole lot, but it's just me. I'm
Wow, that's
so
impressive. Can you make a video on that? Because that's very, very impressive. It's just me too. I live alone. I eat alone, and I definitely don't know how to spend less than $100. I mean, that's very
I
impressive.
work with
So,
my budget. That's the thing, is
yeah,
I work with
I
my
would like to see
budget.
that video.
I
I would
am,
love to see that video.
I do live in low income housing for people with disabilities.
Mm,
So yeah, it is a struggle at times, but you make it work. You find a
yes.
way.
Yes, and people need to know how to make this work because everyone thinks that they cannot afford to eat healthy, but like I don't think they can afford to get sick. It's very,
Right.
very expensive and horrible to be sick. So, yeah, thank you so much,
That's
Mary. You're so inspiring and so beautiful. I saw some people were
uh,
saying how beautiful you were,
uh,
and also you inspired so many people. And then there's
awesome.
Grand Guardian Protector said that you made their menu for
I
them for the past few
did.
years and you're amazing. And so, yeah, thank you so much, Mary. Everyone go follow Mary. She's amazing. And remind us again, what is your YouTube?
Raw vegan magic.
Raw Vegan Magic. What a great name. I love it. And if anybody's looking to be coached for the next 6 weeks, I'm starting my course on Sunday, officially May 4th. If you're interested, it is going to be 6 weeks of intensive raw vegan coaching, and you will find out how to do what me and Mary have been doing. And you can finally heal naturally, and you don't have to be using these horrible prescription drugs and these things that are really making your life worse in the future. So you want to get off those things as much as possible. Mary, thank you so much for everything you do and all your inspiration. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you so
Yes, thank
much.
you.
Bye. Thank you, Mary.